Dr. Richard Pape has owned his dental practice for over 30 years and says he's recently noticed the office getting more robocalls. He says while he can ignore them at home, that's not an option for businesses.
The problem with a business as opposed to a personal robocall is that they have to answer the phone. They can't just not answer the phone if they don't recognize the phone number, which at home you can do. So we've never really done a cost analysis, but I don't know how many man hours a week we spend answering phone calls that are robocalls.
The Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, reports unwanted calls as the top consumer complaint. They recommend registering numbers with the Do Not Call list. And business owners say while they have added themselves to Do Not Call lists, it's done little to help the robocall problem.
I've been on every Do Not Call list I can sign up for, and it makes no difference as far as I can see.
I feel like I'm always adding myself, or sometimes I'll answer the call and I'll actually hit like the remove button, and I'm still seeing a lot of them.
That's because only legitimate telemarketers use the Do Not Call list, so it doesn't stop the illegal spoofing calls. Scammers often spoof numbers to make it seem like the call coming through is local, allowing them to disguise their identity. Kelly Leeson-Dirks is the owner of Leeson's Cakes and says she's often interrupted from making orders by answering calls that look like they're from potential customers.
When they're spoofing a number and a name and it comes up on the caller ID and you think it's a potential customer or something like that and it's not, my phone gets all goobed up because you have stuff on your hands or whatever, and yeah, it's frustrating.
A Consumer Reports study from this year found that 70% of Americans don't answer their phones unless they immediately recognize the number. Moreno says it's affected patients answering calls from the office.
I think I definitely noticed it's harder to reach people now.
The FCC recommends filing a complaint through their website if businesses believe they're receiving illegal robocalls. The FCC uses the information to inform policy decisions, but does not resolve individual complaints. To avoid scams, they warn consumers not to answer any questions and never give out personal information. They say the less interaction people give, the less likely the scammers are to call back. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Erica Carbajal.